Hey everybody, welcome back to Backlog Banter as we continue to fucking milk the Mario 35th anniversary for all it's worth in terms of views and content because
Sure.
god damn it, we want to grow. This month we're committing it to video right now. Our goal is to hit 100 subscribers here on the YouTube channel, and
Yep.
I think we can do it. Tucker thinks we can do it, and we're going to put out the content we need to make it happen.
We've
And that
got
includes
plans in the
we do
freaking
have
in the bucket, in the back burner and back seat, all sorts of B related terms.
we have our own Chunky Kong. That's all I'm going to
We
say. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. My client will take no more questions on the matter. What we will talk about instead, though, is we're going to talk about Mario's 35th anniversary a little bit more because there has been, for lack of a better word, an absolute clusterfuck surrounding all
yes.
of these announcements since that first direct because a lot of news has broken, a lot of conflicting information has come out, and a lot of conflicted boys want to talk to you about how this news is making them feel. Those
hmm
conflicted boys are, of course, myself, Abram, and my cohort, my partner in crime, the producer slash seducer himself, Tucker Hazel. Now, Tucker, I don't know exactly where you want to begin this because you really wanted to create this video. I feel like this is your baby. I feel like you're carrying this to term.
Yeah. So the
Mhm.
reason I am pregnant with this video and we're gonna, squirt it out onto the internet within a day, is that the Mario 35th anniversary direct that we made a reaction to and a discussion about
Card in the
was
corner.
yeah, cards and all up, down, left, right, A B start, whatever. Um, the direct had a lot of stuff in it, but there was a lot of information about the games, about things surrounding them that they didn't touch on. That ended up coming out through insiders and through official website comments and things like that. That end up fleshing out what some of these things are going to be. And there's a lot of different topics about them that weren't necessarily clear when we were watching the videos. That I think,
Sure.
positive or negative, really do lend a lot of credence to how we should be approaching this entire direct and all the content that was in it.
Where do you want to begin? I want you to take the stick for a
Well,
moment.
there's
What do you want to
one
begin with?
there. I think we'll just start at the biggest thing. All right, and we found out about this when we were on a call together after we finished
Yes.
working. These games are this game, the Mario 3D All Stars, is only available for a limited time.
By the way, this was in the direct. I
Yeah,
rewatched
it
our
was
reaction to
exactly.
it, and
It
I
was
didn't
in the
notice. I
direct,
didn't
but we
notice.
didn't notice. All right, and so that's why I'm starting off with this. This isn't
Good.
necessarily
This is a good point to
unconfirmed
begin
comment,
with.
but yeah, this
This
is
extends to Mario 35 also.
yeah. Well, that one we did notice.
Yeah, that one. But just for the context of the audience, a
Yes,
lot of content is going away in March.
yeah. This has been the major point of contention about this whole shebang. Whether it keeps people hyped, well, I don't think it's ever for anyone it's necessarily a positive thing, but it definitely I've seen a lot of people think of this as a relatively negative thing that has been talked about quite a bit on the YouTube videos that I've watched and the Twitter threads that I've been a part of. Is that Nintendo is, at least in my eyes, exploiting the idea of FOMO, the fear of missing out, and by creating false scarcity. The 3D All Stars is only going to be available from September 18th to I think March 21st. Is that right?
I don't think we have a date yet. I know it's
Okay.
the 31st of March for Mario 35, but I don't know.
Oh, 31st.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. It's probably going to be the same day. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. And to me, that just feels a little bit weird. I mean, it kind of it. And I was listening to the kind of funny discussion about this, and one of them brought up a good point. Is that to me, it kind of feels like they don't have the confidence in this. Is that maybe they don't think they can sell it. Maybe they just want it to be or sell it for a long period of time. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. But the fact that this is a limited release thing, both feels exploitative to me and a little bit off-putting. Just the fact that it is
I
only out for a while.
I think we're missing an essential piece of the puzzle here. Nintendo put resources into bringing these games to Switch, and these are games that are evergreen to the umpteenth degree. These are games that are going to continue to sell as more people get Switches. They are going to want to pick up these games.
Mhm.
It is inconceivable to me that come March of next year, there's going to be no way to play
Yeah.
64 Galaxy and Sunshine on Switch after they went to the trouble of bringing them over in the first place.
Yeah.
What this read to me is Nintendo giving us half the information.
Mhm. Is
because
that
I don't think
they're probably gonna be released on their own on the eShop.
the either separate releases on the eShop, integrated into, online
Yeah,
memberships,
that's
integrated
also an
into
option.
something. There's a lot of options, but the fact is that there is no way that Nintendo is going to all of a sudden say, "Oh, you know what? We enjoyed for 6 months having some money by selling some of our biggest games, but we had enough." That
Yeah,
that just doesn't make that literally makes zero sense.
yeah.
That a thought I've been playing around with is whether or not these games were ever supposed to be in a collection in the first place.
Hmm.
What I mean to say is, what if Nintendo realized pretty early on that COVID was going to fuck them up? Maybe not in terms of this year's set of games, but for next year's set of games, and to look down the line. Maybe
Okay.
they were planning on bringing N64, GameCube, Wii games to the Switch digitally in the spring of next year, but they found themselves in a position where they needed more software this year, so they took those three games and put them on Switch in a collection. I think that would partially explain why this is a less fleshed out package.
Yeah.
I think that it would explain why these are going to no longer be sold in this format in a couple months.
Hmm.
I just don't think I honestly don't think that the answer is Nintendo is creating false scarcity, because that doesn't make sense for a game. It makes sense for a piece of hardware, but it doesn't make sense for a game,
Yeah.
because this is a piece of the ecosystem, right? It's not the ecosystem. The reason you create false scarcity for the Wii, for whatever product, but the Wii is the best example of it, was because you wanted to get buzz, you wanted to get people into the ecosystem, you wanted them to see a Wii on the shelf and say, I need to buy that right now, because if I
Hmm.
don't buy it now, it's gonna never gonna see it again. That doesn't make sense for a game, especially a game they want to make money off of in the long term.
Yeah.
I really think that we're just missing a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and I think listening to your information that you brought up, I do actually agree with you, and I do think my initial impression of the fact that I felt like they were being exploitative and all that, it might not be founded. I don't know what I'm trying to find.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. I'll allow
But
it.
that the fact that we don't have all the information, just by the information we have, we don't have a confirmation that they're going to be re-releasing these games. They likely will, but at the moment we don't know for sure. And if in the fucking blue moon that this is a chance, if they actually do just stop having access to these games on the Switch, that is when, and from this information, that is when it feels like they're being exploitative and just trying to create a false sense of scarcity.
Well, then we get into a really, I think, ugly situation
Yeah.
that we
It's
discussed at that
unlikely,
point.
but it's possible. And from the information that we have, that is what is confirmed.
Yeah, and we have to entertain every possibility, to
Yeah,
be fair. And you're right, that is the information we have. I just think it is so inconceivable that that is the narrative.
sure.
So we'll see come next year. But I'm neither optimistic nor pessimistic on this in a vacuum, because I think that there's more that we would know about if Nintendo was communicating better. And I think my biggest problem with the Direct as a whole, stepping back from it, was that they just didn't communicate a lot of the information I wanted.
Sure. Well, okay, continuing off of that, this direct had other information that could have been in it.
Sure.
One of the things being that there's two amiibo coming for Super Mario 3D
Yes,
World. I don't know why they neglected to mention that. I mean, no, that's cool. I'm excited for the amiibo. I'm not gonna get them, but I like amiibo
I'll buy
existing.
them.
But I don't necessarily. I'm not in love with the texture that they use for the Cat Mario and Cat Peach fur. Someone on Twitter likened it to the popcorn texturing you put on the ceiling, which is kind of true. But they're cool amiibo, and I'm just. It's very strange that they didn't mention that. That's a 5-second thing that you shove on the end of the 3D World thing. I don't know why it wasn't announced there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say about that other than the fact that I'm a big amiibo collector. I've got almost 70 amiibo.
Hmm.
Don't do the fucking calculations on how much my amiibo collection is worth. That makes me uncomfortable. But I'll buy these for sure. And if you don't mind, let's just segue right into online support for 3D
Yes,
World.
yes. That's
Which
that's even crazier.
that in the vacuum, removed from Bowser's Fury, removed from whatever amiibo support we're gonna get, that sells me on the experience right there. uh, by itself, because this is a game that is lovely in co-op, and there's a lot of people that I haven't gotten to play co-op with because it's not a local experience. So we're gonna play it together for sure.
Sure.
Um, But I'll also be completely straight up with you. I'm going to play with my girlfriend in co-op far more than I'm going to play with you in co-op
Yeah, that's fine.
because
I'll take the loss there.
yeah, you'll take the L on that one. But the fact is, this just opens up a lot of new possibilities, and I'm so excited to play through this game with her. I think, like I said on Twitter, this is a wonderful co-op game. This really
Mhm.
is a wonderful, wonderful game, and Nintendo finally embracing online co-op is really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, this is the one that really drives me bananas. Is that this is a major selling point for the game, not only because I mean it's going to be great for the game as a whole, but because Nintendo notoriously has not been fantastic with online support,
They've been
right?
terrible with it.
Mario Maker 2 debacle with not being able to play with your friends, that was an objective negative that for a lot of people ruined hype for the game. Like it was a negative. And they ended up fixing that, which is good. But this is something that if I were them, I would have included as a major part of the trailer, because we did see that in the trailer for 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. God, that's gonna be obnoxious to start saying over and over again. But in the trailer, a lot of it was just straight up 3D World gameplay,
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, that's the game that they're selling. But if they had intermixed that with the fact that it is online multiplayer available now, like that's an option, that would have more sold more people on the product. It would have proved that they're taking steps forward to putting local multiplayer online and cornering like the online multiplayer co-op market, because there's not a lot of games that do that.
Yeah.
Um, and it would have made that feel more substantial, the announcement, because watching that trailer, a lot of it was just 3D World gameplay, and both you and I were like, are they going to be showing new content? Well, obviously, eventually they did, which it's unclear what that new content is, which
Yes.
is a little strange. But I don't know why they didn't announce this there. That's very
It's
odd to me.
it's really weird, especially in light of Pikmin 3 Deluxe not having online and that being a game people did want online for like the bingo battle mode and stuff. So you would think Nintendo would recognize that this is important. I mean, you would have thought Nintendo would have recognized fucking online co-op's important long before now. But the fact that we're finally getting it in this robust of a way, it makes me wonder, A, whether it's limited, or B,
Hmm.
they just didn't include it for whatever reason. And I don't know what it is. But the fact that it's in there and lending at least the benefit of the doubt that it's just traditional play through the whole game co-op online, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of all you could want. I don't know what else
Yeah.
they could add in that degree.
I mean, all you could really want is a fucking nice tackle box and a river to go fishing in, you
Ah,
know?
yeah, fishing memes. Um, got any other new information that you want to bring up, or just
Mm, hmm.
do you know anything? Do you know any extra information or?
Oh yeah, that's you wanted me to answer a question. I was lost in space for a moment. You want to just talk about galaxy, space,
Oh,
galaxy
whoa!
items?
What a
Um,
transition.
actually, no, fuck you. We're not transitioning that yet. The last thing I want to do, because I think the main thing we want to talk about are these fucking they are the port remasters, whatever, the new Mario games coming to Switch, the 3D All
The
Stars.
3D All Star Collection.
Yes. First, I have been gestating quite a bit on Mario Kart Live Home
Oh,
Circuit.
oh, that's something to talk about. Yeah.
Um, I really want it.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
this is such a uniquely compelling product that needed more information about it.
Yeah.
Um,
The trailer was not fantastic.
the
Oh, we're on a cutout section. All right. We'll be back in a
important here.
second. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, look at that. Could you hear
All
me when I
right.
was talking?
Nope, it's time for round two, baby.
All right. Have you frozen
There we go. He's holding up the two.
that? Look at that. Look at
And we're
that. Okay,
back. Boom.
wonderful. What I was saying essentially was that I was sold on the concept, but not the execution. I
Mhm.
think this would be so much fun to play with my sister. We both have Switches. We both play a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe together. And I'm more than happy when I go back home, for my extended winter break in between semesters to get this. And I mean, I've got a pretty nice setup in my home where the bottom floor is pretty open.
Yeah.
It'd be a ton of fun for my sister to race these around.
Sure.
But I just need to know more.
Do-
It's that simple.
So the information that I have been able to glean from multiple sources after the direct is that um, each cart I think comes with a copy of the game,
Do we have
and
pricing info?
yes, it is $100 per cart.
Oh, Christ. Is there a
and
bundle?
everyone needs their own Switch and their own card to play.
Ooh, that's actually a little
That
bit more
I'm not
feasible.
like making up
Yeah,
stuff. I'm
yeah,
not. That's
yeah.
objective truth. That is the facts in the game.
Um, that's a little bit of a tougher sell in for me.
Sure. Personally, I'm not in. Look, I've learned my lesson. I bought the VR Labo kit, the big kit, when I
Yeah,
should
me
have
too.
probably just gotten the small kit.
Right.
Labo, I learned after buying Labo is not for me. Also,
Mhm.
VR is not for me. I got terrible
Mhm.
motion sickness playing those games.
Me too.
And I need to, I think after that, I learned to control my hype on products like this because yes, this is a very cool thing. If I was a kid, I would want this for Christmas. Are you kidding me? This is going to sell out. Every kid is going to want
I'm
this for
afraid of
Christmas.
that. Yes.
Um, because it is a very cool product. I mean, taking Mario Kart and I don't even know that they've probably done RC Mario Karts before, but not really
Yeah,
through
because
game.
I've had
Yeah.
a couple of them, but I mean nothing like this.
Yeah, but the fact that they're integrating it into a video game, the fact that it's kind of AR almost, like the camera being on it, you play on your Switch. I think it's all very cool. I'm just personally have low excitement for it because I live in a box of a
Yes.
small room, and I don't have $200 to drop on this.
Yeah, so I mean, especially if there's now an argument for me to not get a new console with all this Nintendo content this
Oh
fall, but
wow,
that's a
okay,
separate discussion. Um, because I don't even want to talk about that right now. The point is like it is a tough sell, especially this fall, I think for a
yeah,
lot of people. But also I'm not I'm fucking 19. I'm about to turn 20. I live at college. I have a tiny dorm room. I'm not the market for this product,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I think it's a sign of a good Nintendo product that people outside of the demographic are drawn to it. I think that's a sign of a good Nintendo Blue Ocean initiative.
yeah.
So if hands-on come out and they're like, okay, well, this is actually not only just cool tech, but a robust piece of software to accompany it, then
Which I
uh,
personally kind of doubt, but I don't think
that's
it
what I'm
really
afraid of.
matters because the draw of it is to have it be a physical thing combined with the game.
Yeah, I mean that is fair, but I think that especially with the Variety Labo kit, I bought that and the VR kit. There is the novelty to building it. There's a novelty to the physical and the digital coming together, but there's also something to be said for that novelty wearing off and then wanting some compelling software behind it.
Yes.
So we'll see. It really is a we'll wait and see type of thing. Um, I don't know. It would be really cool, just an idea I have, if after you mapped out the track, wouldn't it be neat then if the game like overlaid Mario environments onto it? Like I think there's a lot of really interesting possibilities here,
Hmm.
especially considering like what they did with AR on 3DS. Nintendo knows how to do AR.
Hmm.
So I'm excited. It's something I had more to say about the more I thought about it, but we'll see
Sure. Yeah.
how it plays out.
Yeah. Definitely something I want to see more information on because I'm assuming it's like a game. Like there's a game cartridge that you have to put in your Switch that comes
I'm
with
a,
the
yeah, I mean it has
box or
to.
like a download code or something. Which means that the game's got menus. It probably has game modes.
It
Who knows
has
how much
menus,
content?
probably.
Yes. Who knows how much content is really going to be in this? But we'll
Yeah.
have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Um.
that's a wait and see thing. And I don't really care to talk about Mario 35, do you?
Oh no, no. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm definitely going to try it. I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
it's obviously been tested. It's something that works. There
Yeah.
was a fan game. I don't Mario 100 or something like that,
Yeah, I forgot what it
um,
was.
where people essentially did that, and it
Yeah.
was very popular. Um, that one is almost weirder than the collection to be a limited thing because that is a game that could be popular. I mean, the battle royale Tetris 99 has proven that that can be a long-term thing if they continue to support
Yeah.
it. And I don't really know what their I mean, it's free, so I don't know what their reasoning is behind taking it off the eShop, making it unavailable.
My assumption is that it's probably going to be a fairly limited in scope experience, maybe relegated to a few particular levels from New Super Mario Brothers. I
Super
think
Mario
what's
Brothers.
yes, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I think what's kept Tetris 99 alive is the fact that A, Tetris is infinitely replayable, but B, that game has really deep integration with the various other games, with the themes and the
Yeah.
events.
Hmm.
And I just don't think that's something that translates to Mario 35. I think it's going to be something that's going to be fun for an afternoon, and then we won't touch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I put 20 hours into Tetris 99. There are people who've put 200 hours into Tetris 99.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's going to happen here.
Sure.
But is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to the main ordeal?
Nah.
There's one other thing I want to say. This is borderline a non sequitur. But Super Mario All Stars on SNES Online, I have it downloaded. Once I'm done with work for the day, I'm gonna hop in, play new Mario Brothers 2, US
Oh.
and Japanese, because I've never actually played either of those. And
Okay.
I love All Stars. I had it on the
Okay.
Wii.
But you never played
No,
2 or Lost
no.
Levels?
I'm
Huh.
fucking busy with the main trilogy, you know?
Wow. Except for one of them.
I guess I was busy with 2/3 of the main trilogy. But all I really wanted to say was that I love the box art for All Stars.
Oh yeah,
That's
fantastic.
all I want to say.
Yeah.
I have no more commentary. I just like that box art.
But that does translate to something that we talked a little bit about after our recording, was that you did notice the 3D All Stars box art when we watched it in the video.
That bad box art? Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And all right, this is a pretty natural transition into what's going to get me a lot of hate. What has gotten me a lot of hate is
A lot
that,
of hate unnecessarily.
yeah, it's like, look, guys, I am a Nintendo fan. Okay, I'm wearing an NES shirt. I got my Yoshi right there. I've got my Switch. I played every Pokemon game. I'm a Nintendo fan. I like these games.
Folks, he has a Birdo lower back tattoo. I have seen it. I can confirm it's there.
Yeah.
Only a real Nintendo fan would get that.
I like all these games that are in this collection. I've played all of them to a certain extent. I've never beaten any of them, but that doesn't mean I don't think they're great games. And I understand the hype behind them. But personally, I don't find the 3D All-Stars delivery and package and execution to be super compelling. And that is why I was disappointed in the reaction, in the discussion, in this discussion. There's a lot that goes into it that I feel like this could have been treated as a lot bigger deal, and it could have been a much more compelling product.
The bottom line, and I think that we need to recognize this as a community, is that you're right. You are absolutely correct. This is not only lackluster in the framing of the entire industry in terms of what has been done with Crash or Spyro. And these games are
Master Chief Collection or Rare Replay.
MCC, Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Or even an Uncharted Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah.
At the same time,
or even the Mario All-Stars collection on Super Nintendo.
Right, because that's the other point I was working my way into, and you're absolutely correct about that. Is that this doesn't even stack up to what Nintendo has done themselves.
Not only that's the main point. That's the main reason I'm personally disappointed.
And you can point to All Stars, which is a great example, but I think you can point to Kirby's Dream Collection.
Yep.
And I think Kirby's Dream Collection is a fairly salient comparison here, because those games were not put into a new engine.
What the hell?
I don't even fucking know what that just was. But the point is that those games were not updated graphically. They were not put into a coherent framework. What they did is they took 6 disparate Kirby games and stitched them together with a lot of bonus content.
Yeah.
It made a very fleshed out package that is not what we're getting here.
Yeah.
And that's important. And I think you're absolutely correct and accurate and on the money when you say the things you say about this collection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to rain on people's parade, and I don't want to make it seem like I hate Nintendo, because obviously that's not the case. But I'm disappointed in this collection because there's a lot of things that I really do think could have been handled better on large scale and on small scale. I do think that, and look, this is a back and forth ping pong of okay and disappointment. All right, if they had included Galaxy 2 and bonus content, the lack of the fact that they're all not remastered, there's no updates to the visuals or the controls or anything, they're not modernized in any way.
Well, I feel like, to be fair, there will be some changes like to Sunshine to make the games functional.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, just for the audience, because the audience is very particular.
Yes, that's true.
Which is good. Attention to detail, I respect it.
But it's the fact that they're not remastered in any way, which is kind of what I think both of us were expecting going into this, and I was personally
To
waiting for that
various
moment.
degrees, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for that moment where 64 went from chunky N64 graphics to, maybe a
Right,
Odyssey art style or something like that.
right, right, right.
But which that's on me for expecting that, since obviously that wasn't teased or anything. But we have precedence for that in Super Mario All Stars and the Super Nintendo. They redid the visuals and the physics and everything for that game, and I think that's kind of why I was expecting these games to be at least somewhat retouched and modernized.
I mean, I think one thing that is important to note is that that is more of a remake. We did get a comment that I think was very salient about talking about the fundamentals of a remaster.
Mhm.
And a remaster is more like the Nathan Drake collection. Those games were remastered.
Yeah.
Their visuals were polished, their mechanics were tweaked, but by and large, they were the same game. And
Mhm.
that would have been fine, but I don't think that Nintendo even took that full step there. That's why I don't even feel
Yeah.
confident calling them remasters,
Yeah.
because when you look at the fan reverse engineered PC port of Super Mario 64, that is a much more impressive product than what Nintendo is giving us here. That is
Mhm.
a remaster. This is not, I think, to an extent that I think is acceptable to call it a remaster.
Yeah.
If the game wasn't 16 by 9, if it had, some more polishes about it, I think we could have a different conversation.
And to
I
some
don't
degree, I think that personally, I think it should have been a sort of even a mix between N64 and DS versions of Mario 64, because Mario
yeah.
64 DS had the extra characters and things like that. If I mean, which in some ways made that a more definitive version of the game because it had more content, but it was locked to the DS where you had to play with a D-pad.
I think the problem is that these are games that deserve remakes.
Yeah.
And I think we would have had a less extreme but still comparable version of this discussion had these been more fully accepted remasters,
Yeah.
right? Because it still wouldn't have been what I think Nintendo recognizes that fans want out of these games. Um, at the same time, though, I'm over the moon, and I think that you're seeing a lot of that today. And I
Yeah.
don't think that many people who are ecstatic for the collection, like myself, are going to look at you and say you're wrong because you're not.
Well, you should talk to some of the people I've talked to then.
Well, I don't want to get into this either, but I think there's a difference between people who talk on Twitter and are engaged in the community to people who are, you know, in the industry to people who just comment, who just troll. I think there's different degrees. And I
Yeah.
think that if you talk, a lot of people you talk to are going to recognize that there is an inherent contradiction here, because this is my most anticipated game for the rest of the year. It
Mhm.
just is. That includes anything coming into next gen, because these games are just really special, and I think that that's really important to keep in mind. A basic, a basic bare bones transition of 64 Sunshine and Galaxy 2 Switch is exciting only on the merit that those games are as good as they are.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm saying all these things. I'm only disappointed by the execution, the presentation, and the package. I'm not disappointed by these games. I do want to play these games. I just don't personally know if I am excited enough for the package or if my disappointment is too great where I feel like I shouldn't invest in it. And I'll wrestle with that until the game comes out, until the game's inevitably not available. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's certainly a chance that I might purchase it. But at the moment, I'm the lack of remaster, the lack of extra content, the lack of Galaxy 2. Like, even they went as far as to not include Galaxy 2 in the recap, the medley,
Yeah.
which is very strange. And the lack of even look, the box art. We were talking about this. It could have been a 3D Mario version of what the Super Nintendo All Stars box art was. A
Yeah.
hand drawn, sort of celebratory combination of all these great games into one package to give it a more coherent feel. Instead, they opted to just clip the 3 box arts of the other games together, and that's fine. But it really does feel like the bare minimum, and that's where my disappointment sets in.
And I think that's totally fair, because you bring up these points, and I want to counter them, but I would be countering them by saying that Galaxy has an incredible orchestral soundtrack and wonderful mechanics and excellent level design.
And I would never deny those things.
But my point there is that that's not about the collection. That's about the game.
Yeah.
And having these games on Switch is going to be incredible. And I'm most excited to get into Sunshine because I don't like Sunshine very much.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played it in a long time, so I want to give it a shot in this new context and see how
Yeah.
I feel about it. And Galaxy is one of my 5 favorite games of all time. Ecstatic to play that again with a more traditional, lying in bed, these headphones on, playing Galaxy right here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Same with 64. I can't wait because these are lovely and important games.
Yep.
Same time though, your points about the collection cannot be denied.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we're left in a fairly precarious position,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. Where my overwhelming hype and the fact that I have not been able to think about anything other than these collections for the past 6 hours is not a function of Nintendo's execution, but a function of their lineage and a function of their talent as a developer and a publisher, and the fact that they are bringing these games to a platformer where more people can celebrate them and experience them.
For sure.
Like me, can play them again and experience them in a fresh way, in a new context, even if it's only by merit of me playing on a different size screen with a different input device at a different point in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's very exciting.
The last thing, then unfortunately, I feel like I have to end my argument on a somewhat negative note. But the reason I'm realizing, I should have brought this up earlier, but the reason that I am disappointed in the collection overall, and I feel like it didn't necessarily meet the expectations that I had, whether those be valid or not, is that we are in a year of Nintendo not necessarily delivering on all cylinders. And for me, hearing you can go back and watch how excited I was at the beginning of the Mario the Hoax video, all right? I was very excited for these because I thought that, look, Nintendo's had a relatively down year. It's been mostly ports. It's been smaller games. If they bring back Mario 64 Sunshine and Galaxy, remade, that is the killer app that would have cinched the year. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not what we're getting. And maybe that was me setting my expectations too high, but the fact that we're in a year that is relatively empty and didn't feel like they had a lot of huge hitters, that this is going to be a huge hitter sales-wise. But in terms of them delivering big new content, it really is not. They're old games, which is great, but it is not them really putting the effort into something big and new.
I think this year, as you're saying, is both the best thing that could happen in this collection and the worst thing for it. It's paradoxical and strange, but give me a moment.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
On Wii U, Galaxy and Galaxy 2 were re-released on but that wasn't too exciting because,
I don't even know about that.
Yeah, a lot of Wii U games got re-released, and having them digitally on the Wii U eShop was cool. But they were just ports, and you could play through back compat, you could play them digitally, but you could also just play them as stopgaps for the next big release. When 64 came out on Virtual Console on Wii U, it was just a virtual release of 64. It wasn't the main focal point for the tail end of whatever their respective years were. By having no other major content, these games become more impressive because they're going to give you a lot of bang for your buck and a lot to do. But at the same time, they become less impressive when you realize that in the context of any other year, they're just digital versions of games we've had before.
Yeah.
So I think they're left in a really interesting position by 2020. And I don't, even just trying to work my way through that right now, I don't know if this is a great year for them to release or a terrible year.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting for me to watch these games be reviewed and to watch people struggle with that. Because, I don't think I've ever mentioned it on Backlog Banter, but I'm no longer with Nintendad. I'm writing for Comic Book Resources. I'm a features writer now. My hands are finally clear of reviewing anything other than through our contexts. And I wouldn't want to review this collection, right? Because I don't want to be put in that kind of position because this is a tricky review to handle. And I'll be really curious.
I didn't even think about that.
I'll be curious if this gets 10s or if it gets 7s. And I think you can,
oh man, no way it gets 7s. No way. Are you kidding me?
anyone with any kind of editorial journalistic fiber will give it a 7 because you have to look at it through the lens of it being a collection. And I'd be really curious to see who has the fucking balls to do that,
Yeah.
because it's a conflicted package. These games, Sunshine notwithstanding, are 10s, right? And by the way, we're doing a fucking Sunshine discussion. If you buy the collection or not, I will do the video myself if I have to talk about Sunshine.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be it's weird. This is just a weird release that interests me a lot.
Yeah. And it's going to
Do
be
you want to
interesting
talk
for
a
me.
little?
It's going to be interesting for me as someone from the outside, right? Which is weird to say. I mean, I'm a Nintendo fan. I really should be,
Mhm.
all things considered, very hyped for this. But I'm going to watch how it changes over time. If there's a possibility that people come around and realize that the collection package itself is not necessarily very impressive, and I don't know if that'll. In all honesty, I don't think it'll impact the scores at all. I like the world that you're reading into, where journalists are able to review this game as a package and realize that Nintendo didn't necessarily put all the effort they could have into it. Here's the thing. It's not the fact that they're not putting a lot of effort into it that really upsets me, but it's that this is their biggest release of the year, Animal Crossing notwithstanding, and it is the 35th anniversary of Mario. Like, this is their big thing for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And it really would have felt much more impactful if this had, a mode in it that let you go through all the art and manuals of all the games, that let you, learn about development history, that, I don't really know what they could add, but there is content that could have been put in there to make this feel like a more rich, compelling, and legacy-filled package. But unfortunately, it's not. And I think what's going to happen is that this is going to come out, and this is not going to impact me very much, and I'll be perfectly fine with it. But that this game is going to get 10s. It's a compilation of games that people absolutely love, and they're going to very much enjoy playing them again. And it's going to be considered one of the greatest single cartridges of all time, like Super Mario All-Stars was. And that's great. I'm gonna be happy for people who are enjoying it so much.
I think the last thing I want to touch on is I want to touch on that release date.
Yeah.
Because the release date, I think, adds another layer of weirdness to this whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any initial when you saw September 18th? What did you like?
Oh well, if
take
you
me into your head.
Go watch the reaction. I didn't realize that September 18th was so close.
Yeah.
It took you 2 times of saying, "Look at the release date, idiot," for me to realize, oh, that's really soon. 2 weeks is nothing for a video game.
That's yeah.
I don't even know any
absurd.
games that have. Yeah, I don't know any games. This is ridiculous. This is outside of any precedent. But on one hand, it's also very cool. That's one of the things that I'm pleased with the most on this. It shows that Nintendo can just feel like they can drop things, right? That they don't feel like these games are big enough to just sell themselves and not require a 6-month fucking wind up, which is cool. And I'm glad that they're releasing so soon. Uh-oh. You got a little smile on that face of yours.
This is, I think, the release date of this is, I think, the strangest thing Nintendo has done from a marketing and communication perspective. That's including Treehouse event. That's literally anything marketing related Nintendo has done this year. Mm-hmm. This is the weirdest thing they've done all year with their marketing. I don't know what this communicates, because here's the thing. Did Nintendo not announce this in March because they knew that people were going to realize that it's not a collection that can sustain hype for 6 months? Are they doing this now to just capitalize and cash in on pretty much instant hype?
Mm-hmm.
By that extension, why didn't they come out today? Yeah. Because you have to wonder, 14 days does not make a difference. Honest to God, it doesn't.
Yeah.
If they had dropped it today, it would be. The only reason it's probably not number one on the eShop right now is that they're not charging cards today, because I immediately pre-ordered it. But with the new pre-order policies on the eShop, I'm not going to be charged until next week. It's weird, and I honestly don't know what to make of it. I don't know if this means Nintendo could have more this year other than this in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this says for the future of Directs. I don't know what this says for the future of Nintendo releasing information. I think that this is This is a type of thing that that fans just fantasize about. Like Nintendo's just gonna wake up one day and
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
a game. Like, do you understand the significance Super Mario fucking 64 has to the history of video
Of
games?
course, of course.
And they're just like, hey, we're just gonna put it on a collection with two other titans, and we're just
Mhm.
gonna release it in 2 weeks from now. I have no commentary. I only have incredulous thoughts.
Yeah,
It's crazy. The release is
it really is.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Here's the thing. All right, my gears have been spinning, turning, locking, and grinding this whole time hearing you say all these things.
Hmm.
The more I hear about this game, the collection, the more I realize that it will be, no matter how I feel about the presentation of the package of the collection, it will be fun to play these games.
Oh yes.
If I buy it, it will be fun for me to play them, for me to finally complete them,
Yes.
for me to be up on the hype and in the know of what these games are, because I don't know that much about Sunshine. I've only played about 5 hours of it, and I've never beaten Galaxy or 64, which is one of my biggest gaming sins.
It's fine.
But then I take a step back and I realize that I don't know if I feel comfortable paying $60 for this, because I do feel like it does lack in some ways. And then I'm like, okay, I'll wait till it drops in price. But it won't, because it's only available for a limited time. So I'm ping-ponging back and forth between hype and disappointment, hype and disappointment. And I don't know where I'm going to land. I don't know who's going to freaking spike that ping pong ball. I don't know if it's going to break the table. I don't know if it's going to go off into the stratosphere, but something will happen in the next 2 weeks. Whether that means I end up going to GameStop or Best Buy and pre-ordering it, because I do want to own this
Yeah.
at some point, but I don't know if I want it at launch. But I should get it at launch because it's not going to be out for very long. I don't know, man.
I'm telling you
really
right
don't
now.
know.
I'm telling you right now. If you want a physical copy, you fucking pre-order it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I'm telling. If you want a physical copy, you pre-order that. You pre-order that bitch today. Like there's already people. There's already people scalping pre-orders for it on eBay.
Yeah.
When I collect physical items, I like unique, one of a kind pieces, like these plushies. I like more handmade physical goods like that. Digital is how I play my games. That's how I just like to. I think it's more convenient for me. So I have it pre. Well, I don't yet because I'm not fucking. Wish I could just download it. God damn it, Nintendo! I'm not gonna cancel my pre-order on fucking 3 of the best games you've ever created.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of the best games you've ever created in Sunshine. Just let me download it. Just fucking charge my debit card. I don't get it, but if you, I swear to God, audience members, Tucker, all of you, if you want a physical copy, do what you need to do today.
I might
Today.
Need to do it. I might need
Today.
to do it. Look, all right, guys. I have read every single comment that has been done today, except for the ones that have been going while we're recording, because I'm sure that you. I have responded to probably 75% of them. The other ones just being like people responding to other people.
Yeah.
I like interacting with you guys. I'm sorry that one of the first times a lot of you guys are seeing me is on a video that I'm not as hyped. I'm usually very hyped for most things. I'm usually a positive person. And it's unfortunate that you have to see me not being as excited. And I don't want this to be the start of a bad relationship with me and my freaking fan base, my audience, all right? But I hope the things that I've said in this video have made you understand that I'm not being objectively negative on this, and I do think there are positives to it. And I hope it made you understand what I'm trying to get at and where I'm coming from for my disappointment. But I'm very happy for you guys that are excited for this game. I'm never gonna crap on you for being excited for it. These are gonna be great games, regardless. But I hope my position is understandable now.
Your position is absolutely understandable.
Well, to you. To the people in the comments, it doesn't seem as much. But I hope if you watch this video, you can come around to it.
But I'm the arbiter of taste, and I always have the right opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course.
You know,
I think we're running out of steam here, but
it's been fun. It's been real.
Fun. No, yeah.
And our coverage of the 3D All-Stars has only begun, because let me tell you, fucking ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people and children, forest nymphs and elves, elven dwarves, I'll be playing this game midnight when it drops. We will have a video up on Friday the 18th. If Tucker's in it, Tucker's in it. If Tucker's not in it, Tucker's not in it. I'm there. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not afraid of your comments. Say whatever you want. Couldn't phase me. But I will just have you know, if you're new to Backlog Banter, all you're ever gonna get from me is positivity. So just come to expect it.
Oh, that took the wind out of me. I'm sorry, I have a little cough. But anyway, guys, I hope you look forward to more content. I am thinking about more about getting this game, which is unfortunately pushed by the fact that this game is a limited release, which means I'm playing into Nintendo's strange practice, but also because I want to make content. I want to play these games. I want to be in the know. And that's my own. I have to wrestle with that on my own time. But thank you very much for watching, guys. This was a great discussion. I had a very
A
good
wonderful
time.
discussion.
All right, I thought through a lot of things. I my own personality and thought processes were delved into here. But
And fucking subscribe to the goddamn YouTube channel already, okay?
please,
You
please,
keep
guys,
watching the fucking videos. Just hit subscribe. It's not hard. We make good content. We're your friends. We're your pals.
look,
You can,
we're not
make a Tucker
great.
like a father figure.
Oh no, please don't. We're not great at. We don't want to be the people who are promoting our YouTube channel constantly. We don't want to open the video with smash that like button, subscribe, guys, dude. I'm giving a giveaway. I hate all that. It annoys me. I don't want to be those people. But I do feel like we make good content that I want you guys to see. So we'll close these videos by saying please subscribe. We love hearing your comments. We love seeing our numbers tick up. It's very gratifying. All right, we're gonna be open and honest about all of this. Mario's cool. I'm not hyped for this package. That's all I can say.
Mario's cool. Most anticipated game for the rest of fucking 2020.
It's fun to have our yin to our yang. You know, we got a comment that we were discussing earlier of someone who said that the guy on the left is much more entertaining than the guy on the right. Yeah, and that was him in that video. And I'll take the L there if I wasn't as entertaining in that video. I hope I can be more entertaining in the future.
fucking take that L, put it on a hat, fucking get a nice little moustache. I'll
One of
get a
these.
moustache. I'll put an M on my an M on my hat. We'll be the Mario Brothers.
We'll do that. All
And
right.
we'll ride the fucking 3D All Stars collection to YouTube stardom.
We will.
Bitches.
All right. We already kind of have, and the wave has just begun. All right. See you guys in another video. Subscribe.
Don't forget me. Oh, Mr. Miyamoto. Oh, Mr. Miyamoto. It's like that wouldn't have been genuine.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous that that's going to turn out to be the post-credit scenes.
It could be. Who knows?